Imagine this. You've been faithfully taking your zinc every morning. The supplement that's supposed to support testosterone, boost stamina, and keep your energy steady through the day. But lately, something's not adding up. The bottle's almost empty, yet you don't feel any different. No surge of energy. No change in performance. You still wake up tired, and the fire you used to feel just isn't there anymore. Now here's the truth that most men never hear, and supplement companies will never tell you. Zinc alone doesn't work after 60. Not because it's useless, but because your body, at your age, doesn't activate it properly without one very specific partner vitamin. And when you combine these two nutrients in the right way, it's like flipping a biological switch that reignites blood flow, stamina, and yes, performance. Men who've used this simple combination, often in just a few weeks, report waking up feeling alive again. The kind of energy that doesn't just show up in the gym, but in the bedroom. Stay with me, because I'm going to explain why zinc stops working after 60, what this missing activator is, and how to use it safely to restore your vitality, naturally without prescription pills or risky supplements. But first, let's be honest for a second. You're not here because you just want to boost nutrients. You're here because you felt the change, the loss of morning drive, slower recovery, maybe even that uncomfortable feeling that your body just isn't responding the way it used to. And here's the part most men don't realize. It's not your fault. See, past 60, your digestive system, liver, and blood vessels all slow down their absorption efficiency. That means even if you're taking the best zinc supplement on the market, your cells might be getting only 20 to 30% of what they actually need. Now here's where it gets fascinating. A few years ago, a patient of mine, let's call him Dean, came to me after 3 months of taking high-dose zinc supplements. He was frustrated. "Dr. Anderson," he said, "I've done everything. I take my zinc, I exercise, I even cut out sugar, but I still feel flat. What's going on?" So I ran a few tests. His zinc levels were normal, but his testosterone was still low, his circulation was sluggish, and his nitric oxide levels were far below optimal. Then I noticed something else. He was deficient in a key vitamin that your body needs to transport zinc where it actually matters, inside the Leydig cells of your testes, where testosterone is made. That vitamin was vitamin B6. Now don't roll your eyes yet. This isn't one of those just take a multivitamin tips. The real trick is how B6 and zinc interact in the male body, especially after 60. When you pair zinc with B6, it forms a compound called zinc pyridoxal 5-phosphate. That compound is what your body uses to regulate enzymes that control testosterone synthesis and blood vessel dilation. Think of it like a car engine. Zinc is the fuel, but B6 is the spark plug. Without it, nothing ignites. And this is exactly why so many men swear their zinc doesn't work. They're fueling the tank but never lighting the spark. When Dean started taking zinc with B6, something remarkable happened. Within 14 days, he noticed he was waking up earlier, his mental clarity improved, and that quiet spark of confidence started to return. By week 4, his blood pressure normalized slightly, and his lab results showed a 22% increase in free testosterone. He didn't change his diet, didn't add exercise, just corrected that one missing link. And that's what I want for you. Because once you understand how your body processes nutrients at your age, you can stop wasting money on half-working supplements and start activating what your body already has. Now, before I explain how to get this combination right, let's dig into the real reason zinc falls flat after 60. And why most men are unknowingly sabotaging its effects. See, as you age, your stomach acid production drops dramatically, sometimes by as much as 70%. Without enough acid, minerals like zinc don't break down properly for absorption. They just pass through. So even if you're taking 30 milligrams a day, your cells might be absorbing only a fraction. And it gets worse. Many men take zinc right after a big meal or with calcium-heavy foods like milk or cheese, both of which block zinc absorption. So you could be swallowing your supplement faithfully every morning, but the very foods you pair it with are making it almost useless. That's why I tell my patients, take zinc on an empty stomach, ideally with a glass of water and a small source of vitamin B6, like half a banana or a few slices of chicken breast. Simple, right? But the impact is massive. because when your cells finally start absorbing zinc properly, and it's activated by B6, your testosterone-producing enzymes can finally kick back into gear. Now here's a quick teaser. Later in this video, I'll reveal one more nutrient that takes this combination to an entirely new level, especially for improving blood flow and erectile firmness. It's something most men already have in their kitchen, but never use in the right context. So keep watching, you'll want to hear that part. Back to Dean for a moment. Around week 6, his wife came to his follow-up appointment, and I'll never forget what she said. She looked at me, smiled, and said, "I don't know what you did to him, but I got my husband back." That's when it clicked. This wasn't just about testosterone or blood flow. It was about identity, about feeling like yourself again. Now, I know how personal this topic is for men. I've spent over 25 years working with patients who've quietly battled these same frustrations. The embarrassment of losing drive. The hesitation to talk about it. The worry that it's permanent. But I'm here to tell you it's not. Your body is capable of recovery. It just needs the right signals. In fact, inside my ebook, The Complete Sexual Health Blueprint for Men Over 50, I explain the exact biological signals your body responds to, including how to fix hormonal resistance and poor blood vessel elasticity. If you want a deeper, step-by-step guide, it's in there. You'll find the link in the description. But for now, let's keep going. So, how exactly does the zinc B6 combo revive blood flow and performance? Here's the simplified science. Zinc activates an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, which helps convert cholesterol into testosterone. B6 acts like a co-pilot, ensuring that conversion process doesn't stall. Together, they regulate nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme that expands blood vessels and directs blood to where it matters most. Without that enzyme activation, your blood vessels can't relax properly, which means reduced oxygen delivery and weaker performance. Once the zinc B6 balance is restored, that process reawakens naturally. Your body starts producing more nitric oxide, which enhances circulation, energy, and response. It's not an overnight miracle, but it's real, biological restoration. Now let's zoom out for a moment. Why does this matter so much after 60? Because that's when your body's hormonal feedback loop slows down. Think of it as your internal thermostat for energy and libido. If the feedback signal weakens, your testosterone production shuts off early. But when you correct that signal, by combining zinc, B6, and optimizing your nitric oxide pathway, your system starts to regulate itself again. This is how some of my patients, even in their late 70s, are seeing meaningful improvements in stamina and performance, not through external boosters, but by fixing the communication inside their body. And that brings me to a crucial point. Supplements are only as powerful as your body's ability to use them. You've probably seen dozens of flashy ads promising instant performance or natural virility, but almost all of them ignore absorption, enzyme activation, and nutrient synergy. That's why so many men spend hundreds of dollars and feel no change. The truth is, your body doesn't need more supplements. It needs smarter combinations. So here's what I recommend. If you're currently taking zinc, look for one that includes pyridoxine hydrochloride or P5P, the active form of B6. Aim for around 10 milligrams of B6 for every 25 to 30 milligrams of zinc. And always take it with a glass of water, never coffee or dairy. Now you might be wondering, what about adding magnesium, or vitamin D, or any of those other testosterone boosters everyone talks about? We'll get to that in a moment. But before we do, I want you to really let this sink in. Most men lose vitality not because they're lacking testosterone, but because their cells have forgotten how to respond to it. And restoring that response is exactly what these nutrient pairings do. In a study published in Biological Trace Element Research, men who took zinc with vitamin B6 saw a 35% improvement in testosterone activity, without increasing dosage. That means the body became more efficient at using what it already had. That's why I call this approach biological activation, not supplementation. And in just a moment, I'll tell you the kitchen nutrient that supercharges this combination by improving blood vessel flexibility. And it's something you've probably eaten your whole life without realizing its hidden power. But first, let's pause here for a quick reflection. If any part of what I've said resonates, If you felt that slow fading of strength, focus, or confidence, know that it's not a dead end. You're not broken. You're just out of sync. And the good news is, getting back in sync isn't complicated. It's about understanding how your body works now, not how it worked 30 years ago. That's what separates the men who feel younger at 70 from those who feel old at 60. Now, remember how I mentioned a moment ago that there's one common kitchen nutrient that can amplify the zinc B6 combination? The one that helps your blood vessels stay youthful and flexible. Almost like giving your circulation a tune-up? That nutrient is vitamin E. Not the synthetic kind you find in cheap capsules, but the natural form, D-alpha-tocopherol, found in foods like almonds, sunflower seeds, and extra virgin olive oil. Most men overlook it because they think vitamin E is just for skin and hair. But in reality, it's one of the body's most powerful protectors of endothelial cells, the thin lining inside your arteries that controls blood flow. When those cells get damaged by oxidative stress, something that happens more frequently after 60, your vessels lose flexibility. Blood doesn't move as easily to the areas that matter most for energy, performance, and stamina. Now here's the magic. When you combine zinc plus B6 plus vitamin E, you create what I call the vascular synergy effect. Zinc boosts hormone production. B6 activates the enzymes that carry out that process. And vitamin E protects and restores the vessel walls so that blood can actually flow freely again. That's why, in my practice, I've seen men go from dull circulation and cold extremities to warm hands, stronger morning energy, and improved responsiveness, all within a few weeks. One of them was a 67-year-old retired engineer named Thomas. He came to me feeling completely drained. He'd been on blood pressure medication for years and thought that was just how aging worked. But what he didn't realize was that his medication was depleting both zinc and B6, and the lack of vitamin E had made his blood vessels stiff and inflamed. We made a few simple adjustments. Lowered his processed salt intake, added zinc with P5P, the active B6, and introduced 200 IU of natural vitamin E daily. By the second month, his lab work showed improved endothelial function, meaning his blood vessels were literally becoming more elastic. But what he noticed was even more telling. "Dr. Anderson," he said, "my hands and feet don't feel cold anymore, and my mornings are starting to feel like they used to." That's when I knew he was on the right path. Because energy, blood flow, and sexual vitality are all connected through one powerful system, circulation. And circulation depends on three things. 1. Healthy arteries, which vitamin E protects. 2. Active enzymes, which B6 triggers. 3. Available minerals, which zinc provides. Miss even one of these, and the whole system weakens. Now, I can almost hear what some of you are thinking. So, Dr. Anderson, do I just take all three together and wait for results? Good question. And the answer is, almost, but with one very important detail. Timing matters. You see, your body absorbs and uses nutrients differently depending on your meal timing and digestive rhythm. For men over 60, that rhythm is slower, meaning if you take everything at once, you may not get the full benefit. Here's what I recommend. Morning, empty stomach, take your zinc and B6 together with a full glass of water. No milk, no coffee. This ensures direct absorption. Midday or evening. Take your vitamin E with your largest meal of the day. It's fat-soluble, so pairing it with a little olive oil or fish helps your body use it efficiently. This simple timing adjustment can double your absorption efficiency. And once your body starts getting these nutrients in rhythm, your energy, blood flow, and performance will begin to follow suit. But let's go even deeper, because this is where the real transformation happens. When your circulation starts improving, something else changes too. Your body's nitric oxide response. This is the molecule that tells your arteries to relax, expand, and send more blood where it's needed most. Low nitric oxide is one of the biggest reasons men struggle with firmness and stamina, and zinc, B6, and vitamin E all play a direct role in restoring it. Zinc fuels nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme that makes nitric oxide. B6 reduces homocysteine, which otherwise damages those blood vessels. Vitamin E protects that whole pathway from oxidation. Together, it's like tuning up an old engine so every part runs smoothly again. And what happens next? You start to feel the difference not just physically, but mentally. Confidence returns. Sleep deepens. You stop feeling like you're dragging your body through the day. One of my favorite quotes from a patient came from a man named Carlos, age 72. After a few weeks on this protocol, he told me, "It's not just my energy that's back, it's my attitude. I walk differently now." That's what vitality does. It doesn't just change your health, it changes how you carry yourself. And that's exactly what I want for you. Now, I want to pause for just a second, because I know some of you might be feeling overwhelmed with all this information. The ratios, the timing, the science. That's why I put together something special called the Complete Sexual Health Blueprint for Men Over 50. It breaks down everything I've talked about today, including the full daily plan, meal combinations, circulation routines, and exact supplement timing, in a simple step-by-step format you can follow at home. It's not a sales pitch. It's just the deeper guide that this short video can't fully cover. You can find it through the link in the description. And if you're serious about reclaiming your energy, that guide will save you months of trial and error. Now, back to your transformation. Here's the fascinating part. When men combine this protocol with a few small lifestyle tweaks, like 5 minutes of deep breathing before bed and walking just 10 minutes after dinner, their nitric oxide levels skyrocket naturally. That means better sleep, better focus, and improved bedroom confidence. All from giving your body what it actually needs to respond again. And here's something you probably haven't heard anywhere else. Sexual performance is one of the strongest early indicators of cardiovascular health. So when your body starts improving in that area, it's not just about confidence, it's about longevity. It's a sign that your circulation, oxygen flow, and heart function are waking back up. That's why I always say, when a man reclaims his vitality, he's not just restoring his masculinity, he's extending his health span. And that's a message I wish more men heard. Now let's talk about what to expect when you start this protocol, because understanding the timeline helps you stay consistent. And consistency is where the real success happens. Week 1 to 2. You might notice subtle changes first. Deeper sleep, slightly more energy, maybe improved mental sharpness. Week 3 to 4. Circulation starts improving. Warmer hands and feet, more consistent morning energy. Week 5 to 6. Testosterone activity begins to pick up. You'll likely feel stronger, more responsive, more alive. After 8 weeks, that's when most men report significant, noticeable improvements, physically, mentally, and intimately. It's a gradual, steady build, not a quick fix. But once it clicks, it stays. Now here's the interesting twist, and this is where a lot of men sabotage their own progress. They start feeling better, then they stop. They think, "I'm fixed," and go back to skipping meals, neglecting hydration, or taking supplements randomly. But just like exercise, consistency is the key to keeping your results. That's why I encourage my patients to treat this like brushing your teeth. You don't skip it because you feel good. You do it to stay good. And the best part? Once your body finds that new balance, it becomes easier to maintain. Your system starts to remember what optimal feels like. Now, as we wrap up, let me ask you something personal, because I know many of you watching have been through a lot. When was the last time you felt truly confident in your body? Not just okay, but strong, energetic, and proud of how you feel? For most men over 60, it's been years. And that's not because of age. It's because no one ever taught you how your biology changes after 60. You were handed the same advice meant for 30-year-olds and told to just keep going. But your body has new rules now. And once you learn them, you'll realize age isn't your limitation. It's your advantage. Because at your age, you finally have the wisdom and discipline to do things right. And if you've made it this far in the video, that tells me something about you. You're not the kind of man who gives up. You're the kind who fights for his health, his vitality, and his confidence. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you found value in this message, subscribe to this channel. Not for me, but for you. Because every week, I share strategies like this that can literally add years of quality living to your life. And I don't want you to miss them. And while you're at it, click the like button, because when you do, YouTube shares this video with more men who need to hear this message. You could be helping another man get his life and confidence back. Finally, before you go, let me leave you with a thought I often share with my patients. Youth isn't about the number of years behind you, it's about the amount of energy still inside you. That energy is still there. It's waiting for the right spark to bring it back to life. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how a common morning habit, something almost every man does, could be quietly destroying your testosterone before the day even begins. It's one of the most overlooked factors in male vitality, and correcting it can multiply the effects of everything you've learned today. So make sure you're subscribed. And I'll see you there. This is Dr. Mei Anderson, and remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're the ones you choose to rebuild right now.